Hi, good morning. Yes, we have a very exciting art talk talking about someone I'm sure you're familiar with, Japanese artist, musician, and activist Yoko Ono. She was born in Tokyo in 1933 into a wealthy family, and a fun fact is that her father was from a long line of samurai warrior scholars. Ono grew up between Tokyo, San Francisco, and New York. As a child, she wrote poetry and plays and received classical training in piano and voice. In 1952, Ono became the first woman admitted to the philosophy program at Gakushuen University in Tokyo. But after about a year there, she joined her family in the New York City area, where her father, a bank executive, had been transferred. For the next 3 years, she studied writing and music at Sarah Lawrence College. So she grew up playing numerous traditional Japanese instruments as well as classical piano. While studying at Sarah Lawrence, she began exploring more avant-garde music, creating pieces known as 12-tone compositions, which, if you can look them up on YouTube, they sound very dissonant and sporadic. But she started veering away from traditional styles of music and found herself straying from the coursework at college. Ono eventually dropped out of college and was supporting herself through secretarial work and lessons in the traditional Japanese arts at the Japan Society. She began to forge a connection to the New York City avant-garde art world, specifically the art group Fluxus. In the 1960s, Ono's downtown Manhattan loft became the site of a seminal series of performance events. Seen here is Cut Piece, a piece of performance art that she first debuted in 1964. She sat on stage and remained motionless as audience members approached and cut pieces from the performer's clothing. Many have interpreted it as a proto-feminist work addressing issues of gender-based violence, objectification, and subjugation of women. Hammer a Nail is an interactive piece that Yoko Ono has deployed numerous times throughout her career, the current one seen here being at the Tate Modern in London. Hammer a Nail is known as an instruction painting and invites visitors to hammer a nail into the canvas. Produced collectively, this work seeks to undermine the traditionally privileged role of the artist in the creation of an artwork, as it is a collective piece created with the viewer as well. Another collective or interactive piece is Add Color or Refugee Boat. With this particular piece, Ono asks us to think about the power of collective action in relation to today's immigration crisis. When this exhibit first opened, it began with a white boat in a white room. Visitors are given a blue marker and asked to write messages of solidarity and peace or concern for themselves and today's minorities. Over time, the space transforms into a vast blue ocean of thoughts and ideas, becoming a container for different perspectives. Half a Room is a conceptual piece that was done in 1967. The work is made from various objects that have been cut in half and painted white. Half a Room has been described by Ono as a response to her feeling at the time that there was half an empty space in her life, as a result of the increasing estrangement from her second husband, Anthony Cox. Ono awoke one day and noticed that Cox had not returned from a night out, and so the bed was half empty, and through this realized that there was half empty space in her life. Fly is the second album by Yoko Ono, officially released in 1971. It was a double album. It was co-produced by Ono and John Lennon. It peaked at number 199 on the US charts, and the album includes the singles Mrs. Lennon and Mine Train, and it also serves as the soundtrack to Lennon and Ono's film of the same name, Fly. Sean Ono Lennon, their son, remarked on his mother's artistic expression. He said, quote, "What's unique about my mother's work is that she didn't think about art as a specific medium. She felt that art and creativity were conceptual, and so it almost didn't matter which medium they were manifested in." Morning Piece on the left consists of bits of a broken bottle that Ono sold that each contained a different date and time of the morning. She remarks that she loved how something could be created from this sharp, dangerous item that's usually found in the trash and almost becomes jewel-like. Wish Tree is an ongoing art installation series started in 1966, in which a tree native to a site is planted under her direction. Viewers are invited to tie a written wish to the tree, and there are wish trees in Tokyo, Paris, Venice, Calgary, Dublin, and London, among many other cities. So these images might look familiar. A bed-in is a nonviolent protest against war initiated by Yoko Ono and John Lennon during a 2-week period in Amsterdam and Montreal as an experimental test of new ways to promote peace. As the Vietnam War raged in 1969, Ono and Lennon held one bed-in protest at the Hilton Hotel in Amsterdam and one at the Queen Elizabeth Hotel in Montreal, seen here on the left. The idea is derived from a sit-in, in which a group of protesters remain seated in front of or within an establishment until they are evicted, arrested, or their requests are met. Yoko Ono has won numerous Lifetime Achievement Awards and continues her passion for political activism. She recently had an exhibit celebrating her career spanning more than 7 decades at the Tate Modern in London. Thanks, everyone.